This financial markets update is for September the 30th, 2010. Markets finished down today because Spain's debt downgraded by Moody's. Ireland discloses capital needs to restore its banking sector. Some more problems happening in the European Union. We knew this would happen. It's not long before Greece comes and says they need more money. They're going to start defaulting on their loans. But some of the positive news we had in the market today is the U.S. stocks finished at a 71-year high. That's huge. Weekly jobless claims improved slightly more than expected. Third reading on second quarter GDP shows some positive surprises, and Chicago PMI proves pleasing. And those things actually lifted the market this morning before they sold it off. We actually got above some significant levels, and we put a high of the S&P 1157. So this morning when we broke above S&P 500 on the cash index at 1157, our support then became the 1150 level, the one that was so significant that I've been pointing out for the last week that we couldn't get over. Well, we did get over it, and then when they sold it right under it, that's when people started panicking, and that's why the Dow went up at one point from over 100 points to finishing down 47 points. I'm going to go over the notable upgrades and downgrades right now. I'm going to read the companies off, and you guys could go ahead and view the symbols. I highlighted them in blue for you, so if I'm going too fast, pause the video, go back, and you can research them because I highlighted them all anyways. Best Buy upgraded from 46 to 48. Canadian Solar got an upgrade from 12 to 17. And now that I'm looking at Canadian Solar, I should also mention to you that the solars have been on fire lately. There's been huge call activity in LDK and Jazzo, and FSLR has had an upgrade this week, and they've had a great run too. The Solars ETF index is symbol TAN, so you could follow that if you don't already have it. Noble Corp downgraded from 42 to 39. Liberty Media Capital, this is a huge one right here, got an upgrade from 27 to 56. Invesco got an upgrade 25 to 27. Franklin Resources, we call him Big Ben on the street, he got an upgrade from 128 to 131. Skechers downgraded 57 to 51, that's a 6-point downgrade. F5 Networks upgraded 83 to 105, and that one I believe Warren Buffett has in his portfolio for Berkshire Hathaway. Apple, another upgrade from Stifel Nicholas, 350 to 360. And just to mention, I just want to point something out to you. Numerous analysts have Apple's target all around the 350 to 375 range. We've pulled back the last 3 days in Apple, so what I see is happening right here is this dip that we're incurring right now as we speak. There's either the institutions that are going to start dumping their shares that bought it in the momentum trade to break 300, or there's going to be people buying it up on this dip so they could get back up through this 300 and then start breaking out of higher resistance levels on the way up to this 350, 375 area. Apple's an interesting trade. I'm excited to see how it plays out over the next week. FTI, FMC Tech, got an upgrade from 80 to 90. Now we're going to go ahead and look at the economic calendar. I told you guys there would be increasing volume today, not only because the quarter ended, but because it was the end of the month, and we had a lot of pre-market data that came in today. Now tomorrow's economic reports at 8:30 a.m. we have personal finance, personal spending, and we have PCE prices. At 9:55 we have University of Michigan consumer sentiment. There's usually a decent amount of volume that comes off this volume. At 10 a.m. we have construction spending and ISM index. So what does all this tell you right in this little section right here? This tells you that you guys need to be cautious. If you trade the open, maybe if you're not real skilled, maybe you should hold off a little bit until the numbers come out and then see how the market reacts. And at 2 o'clock, we have auto sales and truck sales. Coming over here, we have performing sectors of the day. Basic materials finished first, followed by financials and then services. I'm excited to see financials finish up in the top 3 for once in the past week. If this keeps happening, the market can improve, but it's going to have to be led out by financials. Technology finished worst, followed by consumer goods and conglomerates. Technology is down because large cap tech stocks have been lagging over the past 3 days. We really need them to start participating again, but this could just be a decent, healthy pullback in order for us to go higher. Today I'm doing things a little different. I'm looking at the future indexes instead of the cash indexes, and what I mean by that is I'm looking at the December 10 contract of the Dow Jones Industrial Average (YM). The cash indexes are only open during the market trading hours. The futures indexes trade 24 hours a day, and I watched both of them because both of them are great indicators by themselves. So anyways, today we got a close on the Dow Jones slightly down on the futures index while we held above the 10-day moving average. Now yesterday we put in a bearish doji, so we're going to see how that plays out. Also, I watch a couple indicators and I might as well point them out since I've got a couple of questions. Fibonacci's I use religiously on stocks and on indexes. I also use stochastics. Now they're not on this chart. I usually don't have enough time to go over them in my videos. I like to do them short and I have a lot of information to go over, but I do use them for my videos and for my judgment on my calls and my levels and everything. It's all added. Now someone else asked me, what are these arrows on my charts? Look at these arrows. I'm going to point them out. These arrows are called a PPS indicator. And what this indicator is it determines whether the market conditions are good or bad. Now I've been using this indicator for over a year, and it is by far my favorite indicator, and it works better than anyone else I've ever used. So I add the stochastics, I use the RSI, I use the money flow index indicator, and I use the PPS, I use the Fibonacci's. I use a variety of indicators, but I don't try to complicate myself. I try to keep it simple. When I'm looking for certain things, I turn to certain indicators, if you know what I'm talking about. So right now, we're still in a bullish consolidation. The Dow Jones futures have had us in a buy ever since the beginning of September. And we've been climbing up and we still have a buy on it. Now look how accurate these are, just to point out. They called the top during the flash crash 11,206 high. They called this slight little rally, and then they called another massive decline. Now these I only use when the market's having big swings and we're approaching critical levels. If I'm trying to call a top, I will then use the stochastics because I'll be able to get my confirmation that we're either overbought or oversold a little faster than I can on the PPS. But just look, when you came up, you put in that top, we declined. Our next arrow was a buy signal. So I don't use anything more than I use everything together, just to point out. So anyways, enough with me babbling on. If we slip past these critical levels that I've been pointing out on the cash indexes, and then on the August highs, then guys, we do have lower to go. But the last time we put in a doji, look what happened. You can see it right here. I'm gonna try to zoom in. Okay, we have one right here. I hope you can see it. Okay, right here. And then this decline came. And then we have another one during this high right here. And then this decline came. So I'm not saying we're going to fall. I'm saying tomorrow if we slip past the August lows, then we will continue going down and testing support levels. Alright, right now I'm looking at the Russell 2000 index, and I also watch this every day, but I haven't done it in any of my videos. I'm going to start. Russell finished down about 0.3% today, nothing major. I'm still in a buy mode for the Russell. We still got to close above the August highs, and we're looking decent. 671.50 was the July-August highs. So until we get a close below that, let's just look to consolidate and then move towards the May flash crash highs. If we start declining, our 10-day and then our 200-day moving average is not far behind it to show some support. NASDAQ futures I'm looking at here, we've had a huge run today. And another thing, we had this doji right here a couple trading sessions ago, and then we had another one today. That's not good, because as you can see, we had a white doji right here before this other decline, then we had our red doji, and then we started declining. So right now, as we're speaking, this is slightly bearish on the NASDAQ markets, and the SOX finished down today, but it just bounced off some resistance. Dollar futures finished up a little bit today, nothing major. I'm still bearish until we could get above this 80.17 level, which was the low we put in from August, and hold above it. Looking at crude oil, my target was hit today. Remember I told you guys 79.50 was my target. Well, we hit that and we're climbing higher, so next target's 80.84. And I told you guys I had calls of USO, so I've been riding this whole move up. We still have an ascending 50, and we're above all these support levels. Looking at gold futures right now, we put in a high early this morning at 13.17, almost got to our 13.20 resistance level. Then the news came out, the good news in the markets. We then declined in gold, and after the we started going back down in the markets, gold started retreating, and it got a close above this 13.09 support level that I have. But as you can see, we have a descending 50-day moving average. If gold gets below tomorrow this 13.09 support level, look for the 50 to continue down and continue to come back to the 1300 level and possibly test the low that we put in today at 1307. Okay, I'm looking at the VIX right here, and I told you guys if we got above and held above 1693, look for a move back up to 1742. We approached it today, and now you see a huge flagging pattern going on in the VIX. Bullish flag right here. Tomorrow we could potentially break out of this flag and get above the 1752 and start breaking out of our resistance levels around 1820. So VIX getting bullish, markets looking bearish, slightly bearish. I don't know what's going to happen here, guys, but things might start to go sour for the markets. I'm not going to call direction right now, being that we have so much news on the table tomorrow. So let's see how that news incorporates into the market. And the Riffin Index got a high of 781 today. When they try to hold the 776 level around midday, that we needed to hold in order to get a move back up, they sold it off and they held it above the open, which was at 770.33. We finished down again today, but it's better than finishing in the negative. If we decline tomorrow, then 761 will be tested. Our resistance level for the SOX semiconductor index is 353, which I pointed out, and I felt we'd get some selling if we didn't hold above it, which did happen. Also, CRUS, which is a company, a semiconductor company that creates chips for the Apple iPad and the iPhone, they got bad news that Apple might not go with them. They were down huge today. A couple other tech companies were down. So SOX is looking slightly bearish, and that's reflecting on the NASDAQ and everything else. Look for this 50 to start going down and possibly approach 340 within the next few days. This could bring the NASDAQ down as well if we can't hold above 353. Good luck trading tomorrow, guys. Have a great day.